You are listening to TechVibe Pittsburgh. It's your front row seat to Pittsburgh's technology and innovation ecosystem. I'm your host, Jonathan Kirsting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council, where for nearly 30 years, I've been telling the stories behind Pittsburgh's most innovative technology companies. You know, navigating today's complex energy landscape is just a formidable task, especially when there are myths and facts about coal's role in energy and industry that are just swirling about public consciousness. Today on TechVibe, I am welcoming Anthony Sabel and Matt Mackowiak of Core Natural Resources. In fact, they were present at the White House's recent signing of an executive order making coal a critical resource. You got to keep on listening to learn what this means to ensure our energy stability and what it means for core natural resources, and learn how coal is being used to create infrastructure for green technologies. Plus, you'll get a peek at some of the innovation making coal such a critical resource. Rumor has it, Anthony was actually on stage with the president as he signed this executive order. It was a big moment for Anthony and Matt, and of course for Core Natural Resources. Let's welcome Anthony and Matt to the show today. It's not every day I get to hang out with people who were like just in the White House while executive orders are being signed. And so Matt and Anthony, glad to have you here because I think this is going to be an amazing story. Before we jump into it, just let's introduce yourselves so our listeners know who's who and what's what. Anthony, let's start with you. Who is Anthony Sabel?
Hey, thanks for having us today. I appreciate the conversation. So yeah, my name's Anthony Sabel. I'm a husband of my wife, Amanda, and I have 3 beautiful children, Isaac, Noah, and Miriam. So I've been working in the industry now for nearly 20 years. Started off as a laborer. I've done that for about 5 or 6 years. And then I became a frontline supervisor. I kept getting promoted, and then I got into the staff positions where I was a belt coordinator, CM coordinator. I did mine rescue team work. I'm currently at the Harvey mine, and I am the assistant mine foreman. So now I'm more responsible for the transportation of goods underground and the ventilation apparatuses underground.
All the important stuff to make a mine work, man. Simple as that, and keep them safe and all that good stuff, without a doubt. It's a Matt Mackowiak. First off, man, I think we've talked before, so tell me all about yourself.
Yeah. You're making me follow up with Anthony. That's a tough act to follow with that list of qualifications there. Matt Mackowiak, Director of Government Affairs at Core Natural Resources, and I was with Consol Energy before we went through our merger earlier this year. Prior to coming over to the business side, I did a little bit of work in government for the state government level and at the federal level in Congress as a staffer there too. So I had the same boss as a state senator, and then he ran for Congress, and I was in his congressional office in the district too. After that, came over to Consol. There was an opportunity here, and it was right in my backyard, and I knew a lot about the policy issues that would affect the industry in this area. So it was a really good fit. Been here for a little over 3 years now. Love it. Never looked back. I love the industry. I love everything that we're doing here. I'm also a married father of 2 boys. That keeps me busy too. But yeah, happy to be here. Thanks again for having us on.
Of course. Just thinking 17 more years, you can be hanging out in Anthony's crowd of being around the 50 kids. Just give it a little time. It'll go by fast. That's for sure. And before we jump into our conversation, that's been some big news, obviously, with Consol merging and becoming Core Natural Resources. Just give me the quick 1, 2, 3 on that and why that's so important for the region, because I feel like this company's just gotten even stronger, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. We completed the merger of January 14th of this year between Consol Energy and Arch Resources, which were 2 large coal producing companies. Arch had been based in St. Louis and had a lot of the metallurgical assets in West Virginia, also some assets out west, Wyoming, Colorado. And of course, Consol, locally based in Canonsburg, south of Pittsburgh. We mined a lot of thermal coal and industrial use coal out of our Pennsylvania mining complex, Green, Washington County area. And the 2 companies came together. We are obviously a lot stronger now at Core, focused on global markets. So we export a lot of our product every year that goes to a variety of countries, different continents. And that's used for thermal production, for electricity production, but also a lot of industrial use, brick making, cement making. And then now with the assets, former Arch assets and metallurgical coal, we're able to sell into the met markets as well to produce steel.
That's really cool. These are all the things that just build society when it comes to our infrastructure and our energy. I never want to take that for granted. So we got to jump into the heart of this conversation because, as I mentioned before, rumor has it you guys were hanging out in the east room of the White House. And so, Anthony, I visited the White House once, but I don't think I ever went past the velvet ropes where all the business was going down. Maybe set up the story as to why you guys were there, and because of this executive order that's making making coal a vital mineral.
Yeah, thanks for the question. It's nice to have a president who actually not only recognizes the importance of what we do, but he's prioritizing it. And that's what he did when he signed his executive orders. The experience was a once in a lifetime. It was absolutely amazing. We walked up to the White House, like you said. Of course, we wait for security to escort us in. We go through all the security checks, as you should. I know when we walked in towards the east room of the White House there, the first thing you heard was some beautiful classical music. The president had the Marine Band at every corner of the White House playing some string instruments. As we walked through, everybody had a smile. Marines dressed in blue just absolutely welcomed us. You felt like you belonged there. And it was an absolutely amazing experience. And they told us when we got there that you are not tourists here. You are the president's guests.
Wow.
And that really made us feel special. Yeah. Because they said for tourists, they normally would roll up the rugs, rope off some areas. They said that's not the case with you folks. If you want to see the couch, you want to sit on the couch, sit on the couch. If you want to see things within the bounds of what's accessible to you, it's yours. And we felt just so very welcomed. And it was a once in a lifetime experience, especially going up on stage at the East Room there and sitting behind President Trump for nearly an hour as he did this address. It was truly amazing.
How do they make you feel being part of this very vital industry, to have it recognized? I'm sure it's very important to you, Anthony, to be at the level where you're literally within distance of the president and in the same room with them. That must have been, I don't know, I've been pretty proud to be part of that, I guess, knowing that your dedication to the industry, being there for 20 years as you have.
Yeah, it was. And he was interactive with us. He shook our hands. I have one of the executive order pens that he was signed with. He handed them out to us. At one part of the speech, he looked at me and said, "This big guy over here, should I give him part of the speech?" And handed me part of the speech.
Oh my goodness.
They cracked a little joke and said previous administrations wanted to shut us down and have us work in technology. And he looked at me and says, "I don't think his hands would be able to work with his little gadgets and widgets." And I laughed and assured him that he was correct in that I have no dexterity in my large hands. So he was very personable. It was a very nice, welcoming environment, and I could not ask for more.
Yeah, I can imagine. So Matt, tell me your thoughts on this. And then I'd love you to tell me more about what this executive order means and really what that means, not just for the country, but what it means for Core as far as the business that you do. So I'm sure this definitely elevates what you guys are up to, making sure that this mineral that we've known for 2 decades or for 2 centuries as something that's been just absolutely crucial to us. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. As Anthony said, one of the biggest things that I noticed was just how welcoming everybody in that room, in that building was, treated us as guests. Like it was our place, and we just could feel very welcome there and doing whatever we had to do or wanted to do, obviously within reason and within the bounds where we could go. So that's what I noticed right off the bat as well. I was in the audience, so I was not as lucky to get up on the stage as our miners were, and they deserve that way more than I. Yes. So really, it was surreal to see the president speaking about this industry that I've been working in for a few years now, and then all of our miners behind him. It was an incredible sight. His remarks, I think, were spot on to the state of the industry right now and what needs to happen to accelerate production, but also just achieve American energy dominance. That's his main goal. We need to increase our energy exports and unleash American energy. Obviously, he signed executive orders on that basically on day one. So this is right in line with that. And among other things, these orders that he signed, which first of all, it's been a long time since anything like this has happened for the coal industry. For decades, we've been beaten down and
very much. Yeah.
The policies have not been very conducive to supporting the industry. So that was a huge turning point, very historic moment for sure. And these orders allow increased access to coal mining and coal use on federal lands, also designates coal as a critical mineral. And that's both in terms of for electricity production, but also directs the secretaries to take a look in terms of actually designating it for steel purposes as well. So metallurgical coal, taking a look at that and determining whether that has the status of being critical for steel production. But it also supports increased coal technology production. So coal being used for things like battery technologies, things that are going to propel our economy into the future, and things that frankly we need to onshore a lot of parts of these supply chains. So that was another key aspect of the orders that were signed. For Core's business, we're a part of every single one of those things now. We are thermal and industrial use coal exporters, but also we have domestic customers as well. We're obviously very supportive of preserving the existing coal fleet to make sure that our nation has a baseload source of power for national security reasons so that we can preserve our electrical grids. Energy is everything, and it's where everything starts. And so you need a strong, sound energy policy that allows everything else to fall into place. Obviously, also in the met coal business, so we want to preserve the steel industry and help to grow that. Also a key part of those executive orders. And we also have Consol Innovations, which is a wholly owned subsidiary. And we're doing excellent work there right now with a variety of different coal to product technologies, looking at ways to improve and expand battery production in the United States with using our coal, and a variety of other uses, building materials, aerospace and defense capabilities. I mean, everything that he said, everything that was signed that day, we have a very big vested interest in. So it was a surreal experience.
I can only imagine. And this kind of leads me to the point where I think we've done some stories on this, and you really were starting to lead into this, is everyone traditionally knows coal as a source to produce electricity, to burn, to make energy, but also that we need this in order to make the advanced technologies that we have out there. You know, there's grades of steel that cannot be made without metallurgical grades of coal. And this is, like I said, it's a vital resource that we need this for our security and for energy. I mean, maybe Anthony, tell me a little bit more about some of this. Obviously, what I love is the fact that, first off, that I love is that when Trump has like the miners on stage, he has the men and women who are out there in the mines, risking their lives, doing this really difficult work. So we can enjoy the lives that we have with the technologies we have because of that. And to know that it's not just for producing electricity. So Anthony, give me insights on that. Yeah.
Yeah. This is why it's so important that we focus on coal innovation and not coal elimination. Everybody knows we use for electricity generation, or a lot of people know that. But we also use it for steel making, making cement into concrete, the paper industry, fertilizers, filters, air purifiers, medicines from some of the coal that we use. So there is so many things. And then now there's new studies that are out there that the hot topic right now is rare earth minerals. And right now, we have about 11 million tons of coal ash that's accessible. And in that coal ash is rare earth minerals valued at $8.4 billion that can be extracted from that coal ash. So through innovation, I mean, it's not so far to say there one day that maybe one day we'll start burning coal to get the rare earth minerals, and the byproduct will be power generation. Through innovation,
amazing, actually.
Yeah, I mean, through innovation, who's to say? So coal is in our everyday lives. It's in even the green material we use, the solar panels, the windmills, the steel in there, the concrete. It's in everything we do. It's in our daily lives. And I think that it's important to get out there and educate people, tell them, because I don't think people just know. They don't see it. They don't know it's a direct correlation to their lives. And it really is.
100%. And the one thing that gets me really excited about our region has been so blessed with all types of energy. At the Tech Council, we're in all of the above to make this world happen, right? I think every bit of energy we have is a blessing, and being able to use it responsibly and efficiently. And then when you talk about things like being able to take coal ash and potentially turn that into various rare earth minerals that we need for even more advanced technology, then I think about how Core could make that happen because of the innovation labs that you guys have. Core is as much of a tech company as it is an energy company when you're doing stuff like that. And so that's where I feel like, man, sometimes people just don't know this. So me learning this from you, Anthony, he was like, that's cool.
I appreciate that. We find that in our conversations with people. After the White House, I became pretty popular and got to go on to different networks here and talk to people, local people, national people. And people just don't realize what we do and how important it is what we do. And I think after a nice conversation, once we sit down and talk, it opens some eyes. Totally. And that's why we push people to like websites like the Cool Hard Truth, the COAL Hard Truth, because there's all these facts about myths and facts about coal that it's very eye-opening.
100%. And that's why I love having these conversations to let people know, do your research, figure these things out and realize, and then how blessed we are as a region to know we have natural resources here doing this work. It's such a driver of our economy. And it's, of course, allowing us to be secure as a nation because of all the things that you guys do. It's like this win-win situation as far as I am concerned. So Matt, I'll leave it to you for kind of like any parting words just about the future of what's going on with Core. And of course, a rumor has it you keep asking Anthony to borrow one of his pens all the time. And
yeah, if you get my hands on one of those, that'd be great.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll let him have it. Yeah, what I will say is, as we move into the future, you think about the energy transition, and I think our main messaging from the coalhardtruth.com are not so fascinating, is that we have to stop and consider the trade-offs that we're going to be experiencing with too quick energy transition. I think you mentioned that you're about an all of the above approach, and I think that's great. We We support all that works. Wind and solar technologies, they're intermittent sources. So you do need to still back that up. If that's the direction we're headed in, right? We need to still make sure that we back that up with a baseload source of power. Coal can be that baseload. And even to produce the infrastructure needed for the power grids of the future, you need the steel, concrete, and cement that you're going to use to build wind turbines that's going to come from coal. We're not out of the picture, and we won't be for the foreseeable future. And in addition to that, there are so many things that coal is going to be a part of in our economies, especially as we try to onshore more production and more industries. And the technologies that we talked about before is just the tip of the spear. We're trying right now we're having some success in producing some coal-derived battery anode materials that will replace foreign purchased synthetic graphite that goes into batteries. Like 98% of the battery industry is controlled by China or other powers right now that have these materials. We can make this domestically. We have more coal reserves than any other nation in the world. So we should take advantage of that.
That's what it's all about, and be innovative around it. And for core to be able to start figuring these things out, having guys like Anthony to help get this stuff out of the ground so we can use it. It's this whole thing that goes on. And I don't know. I get excited. I think it's just an amazing conversation. And that's why I'm just stoked that the Tech Council hangs out with core natural resources to tell these types of stories. And Anthony, I'm going to end with this. You blew my mind on this whole thing around the idea of being able at one point looking at the possibilities of pulling out rare earth elements from coal ash. And he said that we would burn coal just to get to that would be like a byproduct would be the energy, would be the heat that we get from it. It's like, that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's a possibility. Yeah.
Yeah. Great stuff, guys. Can't thank you enough for taking the time to hang out with me to tell this story. Appreciate you guys so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thank you, Jonathan. Really appreciate it.
The pleasure is all mine. And in case you forgot, this is Jonathan Kirsting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council, where I love giving you the front row seat to all the innovation happening across Pittsburgh's technology industry. All right, guys. Good job, man. Very cool. Let me turn this thing off. Stop recording. I tell you what blows my mind, man.